So I'm driving along, and all of a sudden I hear a ping, 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 clank, clunk, boom, clank, clank, scrape, 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 clank, clank, clank. I'll show you what I got going on. Alright, so let me creep my way up under here and show you what's happening here. I have a broken leaf spring, and I'll demonstrate the sound that it's making. And that's what it does when I go over bumps and stuff. Today's task is to kind of do a bush fix on this thing to temporarily solve this. I'm still going to have to find something permanent, but temporarily fix it so that I don't have a bigger issue at some point. Stick around, let's do it. I'm going to try to keep this video short and concise and just kind of see if this works. I'll do a review here at the end. I bought a 1 inch by, I think it's 1/4 inch. I went to, it's called Cal Ranch here in Utah. Grade 8 is what you want so that it has the shear strength that we're looking for. But I'm going to get these things cut out just using a death wheel or a cutoff wheel on an angle grinder. I'm going to round the corners a little bit to make them all cutesy, whatever. Touch them up a little bit on the grinder wheel, drill my holes in them, and we'll get them installed on the truck. So I'm going to get these things cut out so that you can see what they look like, and then we'll go for getting them installed. This is a good time for me to remind you to like and subscribe. Share these videos with your friends. I appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Let's round these corners and soften the edges a little. So there you go. Was that completely necessary? Absolutely not. But this is YouTube. That's what you do. Absolutely unnecessary things. Let's drill our holes and we'll get busy. I'll show you what I do for drilling holes as well. My leaf spring is 2.5 inches wide, so I marked out the center, 2.5 inches on either side, 2.5 inches wide total, I should say. Drill a line so I know exactly where I'm at, and then put my marks where I need to drill. Take a center punch and make the center mark. If I can get this thing to do its thing. That way your drill bit doesn't crawl around on you when you try to start drilling. It's important to hit the same mark several times. And then for cutting oil, I use AIM Extreme Duty Lubricant, all-purpose. I'll leave a link down below to this stuff. This stuff is amazing on rusty metal, rusty bolts, anything that squeaks that shouldn't squeak. This stuff's amazing. If it's not moving but should, this stuff's amazing. Enough with the shameless plug. And by the way, not a sponsor. I just use this stuff a lot, and it's made in America. Right here in Utah, in fact. So a couple of little drops right here, get this thing going, add a little bit as you go. Alright, and this gives you an idea of what I'm trying to build. If I had a redneck accent, I would use it. That's redneck engineering. I actually learned this trick from my brother, who's actually a mechanic. This is a temporary fix, like I said. This is basically just going to sandwich that together and hold that broken spring that's kind of coming out and going this way. Hold that in place so it stops kind of bouncing around and scraping and just making an awful sound. Ping, 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 clank, clunk. Boom. Clank, clank, scrape, 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 clank, clank, clank. It's not going to fix the sag problem that I've got. That back left is sagging down. I'm actually going to throw a tape measure on it and see how bad it is before I do this, as well as after I fix it to see. Well, fix. After I put that on, to stop the nasty sound is essentially what I'm doing today. So let's do that. Let's get that thing off the jack and down on the ground. We'll measure and see the difference between left and right. And then we'll slam this thing on. We'll measure it again, left and right, and do a compare and contrast. Get her done. That's called the earthquake check, just to make sure that it's sagging just right. Alright, I busted out my redneck whiteboard, otherwise a piece of cardboard that's white on one side. We were at 39 3/8 on the left and 40 1/2 on the right. That is more than, because math is hard, that's more than 1 inch of sag. That is crazy. I knew it was noticeable, but I didn't know it was that bad. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Let's get that thing on there and we'll test this again. I doubt it's going to fix any of the sag, but let's use the scientific method and see. Alright, I have the truck jacked up just enough to take pressure off that spring. See if I can get that thing back. And oh yeah, there we go. That wasn't so bad. I'm going to push it as far forward as I can. In fact, I'm going to go get a hammer and beat that thing forward as far as I can. Yeah, I am. That's what we're gonna do. So I just have a little baby sledgehammer, and I'm gonna use one of my extensions to try to get behind that, to bang it forward some. See if I can seat that down in there a little farther. There's at least a 1/4 inch gap, maybe even more like a 1/2 inch. I'll bet it's back behind that little clamp right there that you guys probably can't see. Sound changed, so that means it's seated all the way, and that was definitely more than a 1/2 inch that it slid. So now I'm going to apply my clamps right in this area here. Let's see what that does to our elevation. Maybe that'll change the elevation of this thing. I gotta hurry and finish this project because I have things to do tonight. Volunteer with the youth group at my church, and we have an activity tonight I've got to get to. Whew, I ought to get an air tool on. That's what I ought to do. That'd be faster. Alright, well, I'm starting to bend my irons, so I guess that's tight. Look at my handiwork up a little closer. That's what we got going on. It was this bottom spring, not the helper spring, but the bottom spring. It was snapped, which left me only 2 holding this up, and I got a lot of rust under here. So, like I said, this is not a permanent fix. Don't do this and think you're good to go and start hauling and towing and all sorts of stuff. Don't be that guy. I'm going to end up having to replace this spring set, and I think when you do one, you should probably do both. So that's what I'm going to be up against. But let's get this off the jack, test it again. Got to do the earthquake check first. The scientific method. You got to make sure that you're testing the same each time. And there's our after. So 39 6/8, which is actually 3/4. I did that just so our math would be easier. And 40 5/8. So this one actually went up just a hair after that. And that's probably just how I was settling the truck, you know, with the bounce check, whatnot. But this went up a full 3/8 of an inch, which is decent. I'm still off by, oh my gosh, too much. but temporary fix. So anyway, this is Troy with DIY Home and Auto, showing you a bush fix on a broken leaf spring. This is obviously not a permanent fix. I'm still going to have to replace those springs under there. I don't trust it for anything heavy duty or anything like that, but at least we'll knock down that ping ping. Wait, what was that sound again? Ping, 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 clank, clunk, boom. Clank, clank, scrape, 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 clank, clank, clank. Yeah, that's the sound. Anyway, it'll cut down on all that, and we'll be able to drive around in relative silence, even though the back end is saggy. So, this is Troy at DIY Home and Auto. Please like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Appreciate you guys very much, and we'll see you guys in the next video.